All right, so again, make sure you got your notes out and your calculators so we can do these calculations to get together. Be sure we're all on the same page. So this is our Quiz 10 study guide. All right, so number 1. Triangle GEF. Angle E 70 degrees. E to F is X degrees, or X. G to F is 15. And angle G is 16 degrees. All right, so law of sine says the sine of an angle over its opposite side. Sine 16 over X is equal to sine 70 over 15. All right, so now we've got a proportion. We can crisscross multiply. So sine 70 X equals sine 16 times 15. And then we're going to divide both sides by sine 70. The sine 70s cancel, the X drops down. And make sure in your calculator that you hit the equal sign after you multiply the numerator. So 16 sine times 15 equals, divided by 70 sine equals, and I get 4.4. Number 2. It's triangle GEF again. GE is our X. Angle E is 40. Angle F is 60. And GF is 13. Same concept. Sine 60 over X equals sine 40 over 13. Crisscross multiply. Sine 40 equals sine 60 times 13. And then divide by, oops, I left the X off. Divide by sine 40. These cancel. The X drops down. So 60 sine times 13 equals, and then divided by 40 sine, 17.5. All right, problem number 3 here. We've got GEF again. GE is 6. E to F is 12. Angle G is 80. And now look, they're asking for an angle measure. So you're going to want to highlight star something. This is going to be the same concept, but it's going to be one more step. All right. So we're going to say sine of X over 6 is equal to sine 80 over the 12. We're going to crisscross multiply again. So we're going to get sine x times 12 equals 6 times sine 80. Now we're trying to solve for a variable, so we're going to divide both sides here by 12. So sine of x is equal to, same function in your calculator. I'm doing 6 times 80 sine equals, and then I'm dividing by 12 and hit equals. Now leave that on your calculator, it's 0.5. If the sine of x is 0.5, all right, we can say if sine of x equals 0.5, then the inverse sine of 0.5 is equal to your x. All right. Then let's say, let's do this. Then x equals the inverse sine of 0.5. So that's sitting on your calculator. Push second sine, and we get 29.5, and that's your angle measure. All right, your x is equal to 29.5. And we start this because we're looking for an angle measure here. All right, and when you're looking for an angle measure, you've got one more step at the end of this problem. If sine of x equals 0.5, then the measure of x is equal to the inverse sine of 0.5. Number 4. Angle G is 30. Angle E is 61. EF is x. And GF is 20. So this is sine 30 over x is equal to sine 61 over 20. Same process. Sine 61 x equals sine 30 times 20. Gonna divide both sides by sine 61. These cancel. X is equal to 30 sine times 20 divided by 61 sine, and 11.4. Number 5. Triangle GEF again. Angle G is 45. GE is 8. We're trying to find angle F, and EF is 28. So sine x over 8 equals sine 45 over 28. Crisscross multiply. Sine x times 28 equals sine 45 times 8. Gonna divide both sides by 28. these cancel. So our sine of x is equal to 45 sine times 8 divided by 28. I get a 0.2. So if sine of x equals 0.2, then the measure of angle x equals inverse sine of 0.2. So that, again, that's sitting right on your screen. Push second, sine equals 11.7 and degrees. All right, and number 6 is G to E is 5. E is 84 degrees. Angle F is X degrees. And GF is 7. It's just repeating the same process. We're looking for an angle again, and we're using law of sines. So sine of X over its opposite side equals sine 84 over its opposite side. Crisscross multiply. Sine X times 7 equals sine 84 times 5. Divide both sides by 7. So sine X equals 84 sine times 5 divided by 7 is 0.7. So the measure of angle X equals inverse sine of 0.7, 45.3. All right, and then number 7. Triangle UST this time. Wow. We got a 40. UT is X. S to U is 38. S to T is 10. Okay, we've only got one angle measure. So this is what we covered yesterday. When we've only got one angle measure and we need a side, we're going to use the law of cosines. Okay? And yesterday, we said that the side opposite the angle we're using is our x squared. It's equal to one of the sides adjacent to the angle squared plus the other side adjacent to the angle squared minus 2 times these side lengths times cosine of the angle opposite the side we're trying to find. So our x squared is equal to, I'm going to go 10 x squared plus 38 x squared equals 1544 minus.
Teachers, at this time, if you have not done the transportation survey, please log on to your email and click the link and take the survey with your first period class. Again, at this time, please take the survey with your students in regards to transportation. The email was sent yesterday, and I just resent it this morning. Thank you.
We're going to do all of this in the brackets in the calculator. So 2 times 10 times 38 times 40 cosine equals 582.2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the square root of each side. So our x on the left is equal to the square root of 1544 minus 582.2, which is 961.8. And while that's sitting on your screen, push the square root button, and I get 31. We got problems 8, 9, and 10 left. So we're just about through this. So we got triangle UST again. Angle U is 35 degrees. Side ST is what we're trying to find. Our adjacent sides are 27 and 25. So again, this opposite side, x squared is equal to the adjacent sides to the angle squared minus 2 times the adjacent sides times cosine of the angle given. So x squared is equal to 25x squared plus 27x squared equals 1354 minus 2 times 25 times 27 times 35 cosine equals 1105.9. We're going to find the square root of each side. So our x is equal to the square root of 1354 minus 1105.9, 248.1. And again, leave it on your screen and push the square root button. 15.8. Problem number 9. Triangle UST again. US is 13. Angle S is 52. U to T is X. And S to T is 16. I'm going to do the work for this problem, but I'm not going to say anything. I would like you to do the work for the problem and look up if you get stuck, or just look up at the end to check your answer. Anybody get 13? All right, well done. Okay, and last but not least, number 10. And number 10, you're going to want to put an asterisk by it, star it, highlight it. It's a little bit different, okay? We got triangle UST again. We've got SU is 29. Let's see, UST. S to T is 20. U to T is 13. And angle U is what we're trying to find. That's where our X is. But we're going to use the same formula. So now we're starting off with 20 squared is equal to the two adjacent sides. 13 squared plus 29 squared minus 2 times 13 times 29 times cosine of X. So our 20 squared, 400, is equal to 13x squared plus 29x squared equals 1010 minus. All right, we got 2 times 13 times 29 equals 754. This is 754 cosine X. This is 754 times cosine X. This step is super important. In this case, your next step is to subtract your 1010 from each side. You got 400 minus 1010. Negative 610 is equal to, do not forget this minus sign. This negative 610 is equal to negative 754 cosine X. We're going to divide both sides now by negative 754. So the negative 610 is still in my calculator. I'm going to push divided by 754 and the negative sign, which is below the 3, and then hit equals. And what I get is 0.8. And 0.8 is equal to cosine of X. So if 0.8 equals cosine of X, we can say if 0.8 equals cosine X, then inverse cosine of 0.8 equals our X, okay? So we take the 0.8 that's sitting in the calculator and we go second cosine and hit equals, and our X equals 36. So that is a 36-degree angle there. All right. This right here is where the biggest mistake is made in this problem. Is people forget about that negative sign or that minus sign when they drop down the 754 cosine X. Okay? That's got to stay. And you don't subtract the 754 from the 1010. All right? You subtract the 1010 from each side. Make sure you got that highlighted and you understand that. All right? And with that, that completes your study guide for quiz number 10.